Hey, 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 and welcome to Glue Friday. It's interesting. I always seem to end up coming on with an outtake, right? Because I'm fighting technology, and obviously I always win. Yeah, it tried to not let me in here today. I don't know. I don't know. And it's such a good day to let me in. What can I say? But look, if this is your first time with Glue Friday, welcome aboard. Glue Friday was born from Glue Wednesday. I used to just do a Glue Wednesday broadcast live on Facebook. And then with the pandemic, I extended it to Glue Monday and Friday. And the reason I came up with Glue Wednesday in the first place is because so many people call Wednesday Hump Day, which was old school, where it was the middle of a 5-day work week. Everybody thought 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. And so it was hump day because it was the day that you get over the hump toward the weekend. And so I decided that hump has a negative connotation and that Wednesday is actually the middle of a traditional 7-day week because not everybody works Monday to Friday. So therefore, I decided that Wednesday was the glue that kept the week beginning and the weekend together. And even as you pull it together, it puts you in a position of prayerful appreciation. And then glue is GLUE. God's love undoes everything. Hey, what's happening, Tom? What's up, Roger Cat? Ooh, 1 o'clock on the dot. Yeah. You know what happened? It was so funny because the technology, I tried getting on at 5 minutes too. I always try to get on and say, let Facebook build the audience, but it kept not letting me in. And now here we are at 1 o'clock because that's when I do my shout outs for the first people that come on. So I gave you all a shout out, even though we're starting right on time. But sunny in Chicago, great. That doesn't mean it's not cold. P.S. By the way, put that in the link. All right. Anyway, because I had plenty of sunny days in Chicago that didn't have nothing to do with what the weather was really about. Okay, it was whether or not you stayed inside. Okay, happy. Okay, hey, look, but today I'm putting my foot on the gas, and the gas is the GAS. Glue Alphabet Series. If this is your first time with us, what I'm doing is using a different letter of the alphabet for each of my messages, whether it's Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. And what you get to do as a listener is put, you put a word that begins with the next letter of the day, which is the next letter in the alphabet. You put that word in the thread, and then I weave it into the next message. So we can get a spoiler alert. There will not be a Glue Monday because I'm doing my webinar, but next Wednesday, the letter will be O. So if you put a word in the feed that begins with the letter O, I will work that into my message next Wednesday. There's nothing wrong with us not doing that. But here's some of the words that I got. Oh, 60 degrees. Okay. Hey, what's up, Royce? Okay, that's my shout out, y'all. Let me get going. Well, we'll see. All right. But the thing is, once you so to hear the words that people put in the feed on Wednesday, which was the letter M, and so today is the letter N. So you let your N words that people, and you would listen for them because I won't necessarily say, hey, there's one of the words. Okay, but the thing is that here are the words that people volunteered for me: nice, numerous, nutrition, and never. Nice, numerous, nutrition, and never. So you'll hear them somewhere in the message today. But what they do is they build up my message. That I decided that my message today is next, never, and needs. Next, never, and needs. My feature poem will be Needless to Say. Now, if you like to get a word in on for Wednesday, it's the O, okay? But if you like a copy, you put that in the thread. But if you like a copy of the featured poem, you're going to need to email me at unclesporty@gmail.com. And I'll repeat that at the end of the broadcast. And meanwhile, everything is a teaching moment. The reason I would rather you email me that request is because that way we don't worry about misspelling from the transfer. But also, once you email me, you never know, your system could have a security block that doesn't allow my name to come through. But once you email me, you have now told your system that this is a person that you recognize and that they will welcome the email from that person. So think about that and let people know that for yourself, especially now with me, picking up my pace and I'm doing more group mailings. GMass is the mailing system that I use. And so that has to come through as well. What's up, Zach? Okay, that's my last shout out. I just made open and my eyes swung over there. I had to give a shout out to my sister. All right. But here we go. In sports, and games, there's a term most people are familiar with. Have you ever heard this term? I got next. I got next is an affirmation of faith. It's one that says there will be another game. There will be another chance to perform. So I got next is an affirmation of faith. And after you call next, what do? You sit down and enjoy watching the game while thinking about what you're going to do, depending upon who you go up against. Yet, what you're not thinking about is the fact that you have no idea who you're going up against in the next game. Because what you're actually doing is watching what the other person does. Wait, I done lost track of my notes. What you're doing is seeing the other people do what they do in response to who they're playing, not knowing how they'll play against you. You're watching how they perform against their opponent on the court or on the field, but they're not going up against you. So you actually don't know how they're going to play when it's time for you to go up against them. So I'm saying that you could better spend your time just enjoying the game and thinking about what you're going to do no matter who you go up against. Have you ever listened to the athletes' interviews after the game? Somewhere in the interview, they'll talk about how they got back to playing their game. You ever know they said, well, we came back because we got back to playing our game. You can't beat somebody at their game. You can't beat somebody at their game. You got to beat somebody playing your game. You have to play your game. So it's kind of nice to know what your game is. I posted a meme this morning that said, God doesn't miss you. He is patiently waiting for you to understand your next assignment. And then I added, look at your I miss list. Like a to-do list, you have an I miss list. I miss this person. I miss doing this. I miss that. Okay. That's your I miss list. That list is a great source of inspiration for your next step. Hear yourself comforting or reassuring someone you love. Be someone you love. And then when you're ready, take your next step. See, you don't have to rush yourself. You be patient. But when you think about, and this is something you can use to deal with the grieving process. You can also use it as we're talking about right now, where we miss, social interaction, going to work, and all of these things that we're piling up what we miss, and we're missing what we have. So look at your I miss list. I'm not saying don't miss these things and that you don't, because emotions are real. No emotion is wrong. But as you do that, now say, okay, well, what's my next step? I know what I'm missing, but is it something that I can replace? Is it something that I have to learn to do without? What's my next step? Because see, we're in new waters. And in fact, I call them the now waters. And if you haven't signed up for my upcoming webinar, you still have time. That's coming up on Monday. That's why there'll be no Glue Monday. I've got my webinar called How to Navigate in the Now Normal. And I'm planning on having a good time with it. So if you haven't registered, you still got time. It's in the feed where you can get to the link and you can make sure that you get in there and register. Okay. All right. So, but one of the things that I'll be talking about in my session is how important it is to add the patience from next to subtract the extreme of never. Now, by extreme, what I'm talking about are the things that we said we'd never do, or how we said I've always done. Those are the extremes. It's kind of like how so many people see and live the world in black and white, when we find that our living is actually in the gray. See, we live in the gray. Here's the gray. Accidents, beliefs, choices, decisions, experiences, fun, growth, happiness, intuition, jokes, kindness, love, mistakes, nutrition, options, prayers, questions, rewards, storms, testimonies, understanding, victories, wonders, Xeroxes, youthfulness, and zeal. And the zeal with which we all love our lives. A to Z, we're living in the gray. So get ready to get rid of your extremes. So you have to get rid. I never did this. And I'll never do it because I've always done this. No, those are the extremes. Get ready to get rid of your extremes because you're going to need to do something different in the now normal. It's not the new, that's my term. That's the now normal, not the new normal. And you're going to need to do something different in the now normal. And needs, N-E-E-D-S, necessary, emotional, and economical demands of society. Necessary, emotional, and economic demands of society. I believe one of the biggest needs is to be respected. My mother used to always say, all you need to do is stay black and die. Everything else comes as a want. Well, you have to decide and understand the difference as an individual between a need and a want to patiently make the moves and next steps to get them met. Hold on, I gotta blink out something that's on my screen. Okay, I wonder if y'all can see that when that happens. Interesting. And need, okay, so you have to decide and understand the difference between a need and a want as an individual, because what's your need, what are your needs and your wants, so that you can patiently make the moves and next steps to get them met. My featured poem of the day will address that vision and comes through the eyes of a group of teenagers in an alternative high school in Chicago. I wrote this back in the 90s. Yet I believe it resonates with the hearts. Where is it? It resonates with the hearts of numerous people, numerous people, age groups, and different, and all different types. You see, after you've listened to it, I want you to ask yourself, what did you think about when you were in your teens, in your less than tens? What did you think about last week? So this poem is from my book, Your Name Came to Mind, and it's called Needless to Say. I need people, and P.S. by the way, let me also say this other thing. If you're not familiar with the term alternative high schools, those are for the kids that are considered to be, they don't fit into the general population of schools. So they may have been, they may have been expelled, whatever, or they may wards of the state, a whole lot of different reasons people go to alternative high school. Some choose to go because they maybe they had to become heads of their household or breadwinners and they didn't have time to go to school. So you go to an alternative high school. It's not instantly a bad thing, okay? So it's our perception, but because everybody in alternative high school, you're not necessarily the same age, so you're not in a 7th, 8th, 9th grade class. You're in a class in a room where people could have a range of ages, but they're learning a topic. And so that's why I created this poem through them, and it's called Needless to Say. I need people in my life. That's why I put myself in positions, places, and situations that allow me to meet that need. Yeah, I know about being unique. I'm in touch with my gift. Somebody loves me. In fact, I do. Yet when I look in the mirror, the background I see is not the opulence I saw in that dream a few nights ago. My surroundings say made in everywhere but my name. And not so suddenly, I realized that even my God chose not to be alone. I need people in my life. That's why I put myself in positions, places, and situations that allow me to meet that need. Oh, I know not everybody's going to like me, but I ask for respect. Somebody's going to push me down, pull me down, lock me up so I can't be around. All I ask for is respect. Because my life is precious. It ain't no joke. I'm nobody's fool and I'm not a clown. I need people in my life. That's why I put myself in positions, places, and situations that allow me to meet that need. Because I see how many people need me. Some need me to see myself as less than a man. Some want me to be a woman on my back. So they tell lies on me, cheat me, help me focus on my past. No matter how I try to get ahead, they tell me I won't last. And all I ask for is respect. They try to rush me through the system. Then when I'm almost through, they pull me back. I start questioning, doubting, not believing in myself. And I want to scream, give me some slack. but I stay cool. I look inside myself and know that I'm here because I'm a survivor. And there's someone behind me who needs to know what I've lived and learned. I need all kinds of people in my life. That's why I put myself in key positions, high places, and the best situations I can think of to meet that need because I respect myself. Now is not the time to be upset with your circumstances. It's actually the time to be about making the adjustments for in case we've turned the page on the present. And this is how we'll be living and passing the baton to our kids for them to make it better. Remember only having one phone in the house. Remember not being able to cross the street alone. Remember not having your own phone. Remember not having a curfew. Remember being old enough to get a key to the house. Remember your first job, apartment, your first car, your last mistake. Remember? These were all monumental moments in their frozen periods of time that now warm our hearts. That's what needing people in your life is all about. It's recognizing that you need to have the right people in your life. And most importantly, you need to be the right person in your life. Like attracts like. Once you start liking yourself, because I believe that liking yourself is the cherry on the cake. Most people will say that they love themselves, but a lot of times we find ourselves saying, I don't like me. I don't like how I look in this outfit. I don't like how I acted. I don't like, see, we're telling our spirits, I don't like you. And it's a subtle change. But once we start telling ourselves, because how often have you say, I like what you just did. Now we will say, oh, I like how I look when we look in the mirror. But there you go, as you walk into down the street and you walk past a storefront and you see yourself in the reflection in the store window, say, I like how I look. So you got to talk to yourself and you got to let yourself know that you like you. Because when you like you, people line up to like you. And that's the beauty of it all. So finally, today's message was brought to you by the Charlotte minor league baseball team, the Knights. Now, you might say, hey, wait, that's a K word, not an N word. Well, look what I just put in the feed. Not if you close your eyes and hear the word night. Remember, it's so important to control your vocabulary rather than allowing your vocabulary to control you. Don't let a word have to mean what it means based on the way you learned it. There are options. And that's what we have is in our lives. We have options. That's the beauty of being who we are. And we've taken options. Didn't I go through the alphabet in gray and letting us know that these are the things that we do? These are the directions that we can take. These are the needs and wants that we have, that we get to choose which ones will apply to our life and help us take that next step forward. So not if you close your eyes, then you'll hear nights as N-I-G-H-T, N-I-T-E-S, but K-N-I-G-H-T-S, because I'm a knight, I'm a king, and you're a knight, whether you're a king or a queen, because you're going through something like the Knights of the Round Table. You're going through it with valor and courage. But we're not giving ourselves enough credit sometimes because we're not spending enough time liking ourselves. So control your vocabulary. Don't let your vocabulary control you. That's why it's important to listen. And yes, you did get the right spelling when you said night began with a K. But that's also because you have to remember, put the words in context of the sentence and the situation. Likewise, put this pandemic into perspective. It's the newest storm in a series of storms. And we've got next. We got next. We have to focus on being patient and adding to the solution rather than fueling the confusion. There'll be no glue Wednesday, no glue Monday, as I told you, but there's still room for you to register for my How to Navigate in the Now Normal webinar. It's my first ever. And there's someone who thought I'd never be in a position that I'm in now. But I always knew God, even when I didn't know that I was on his team. Now you can't get me off his team. And I don't mind sitting on his bench waiting for my turn to get in. What I don't want to do is find myself sitting in the stands just watching and screaming at the refs because all the people around me are screaming at the refs. You have to get on the field and play the game. What you need to do is make this situation work for you. If you like a copy of the poem, just email me at unclesporty@gmail.com. And if you've got a word that begins with O, put it in the thread and I'll get into Wednesday's message. And if you haven't registered for Monday's webinar, get down my stream and get that link and get your front row seat. Thank you. God bless you. Have a safe and savvy, strong end. And that'll make your weekend even better. Over and out. Ciao.